Hello calisthenics enthusiasts and welcome back to a new video. I recently received a very interesting question to one of my videos that sounds like this. Is it possible to train with quality and highly controlled repetitions that also go towards military training in terms of volume? He basically wants to do highly controlled reps with a slower tempo, meaning lower velocity on both the concentric and eccentric portion in a full range of motion, complete movement. It's about quality reps and whether you could keep that when doing quantity, or what we refer to as volume, when you overload with high reps every single set. Well, when something sounds too good to be real, it's usually not, it's utopic. I like how it sounds, but idealism is a nice concept, it's theoretical, and like in every other life aspect, it serves as a high standard for us to reach. But let's go through this step by step. I'll explain everything that you need to know about this type of training. So, highly controlled reps with a slow tempo, full range of motion, are elements describing a perfect execution. Master level, if you will. How long one can do absolutely perfect reps depends a lot on general strength, muscular endurance, and how effective the recovery is during the break time or between the sets. I'll refer again to physics because that's where the science is. One of the reasons it is hard to maintain a complete range of motion once you get tired is because of the mechanical work that increases more and more with each repetition. These extra inches you need to cover every rep demand better muscle fiber activation and even a more powerful contraction. On top of that, you also intend on keeping a good form that will obviously make the muscle squeeze harder. There is also an extra isometrical contraction for stability and coordination in many cases, if you work on gymnastic rings, for instance. Now, regarding the slow tempo, listen, every time I work out, my aim is always to get as close to perfection as possible. I like those elegant executions, that clean form and range that also makes me feel very athletic. The problem is that I can't sustain it for the entire workout, and thus the correctness of my execution gradually decreases and is directly proportional to muscle fatigue. It applies to you as well. This is tightly connected to tempo, which is affected as well. A slow tempo increases the tension quite substantially. You could make a bodyweight rep feel almost twice as hard only by reducing the speed of execution. I think you'll agree with me here. From a point on, it's difficult not only to pull your chin over the bar in case of pull-ups, for instance, but you will definitely have almost no more strength to resist against gravity when you come back down on the negative portion. It's why many can't control the resistance there and fall almost directly into the starting moment of the exercise, which is not okay, if you ask me. A complete rep is made of both concentric and eccentric part, but when you have control over them. Otherwise, it's almost pointless because it will affect the further development of your strength. And by the way, I discussed about strength in a video, I think right here in this corner. You should go and check that out too. You'll learn some good information. So my dear follower, or everyone who's interested into this topic, I don't think you could do military training and keep a perfect execution throughout the whole workout routine. I also saw a lot of videos with soldiers training military calisthenics, sort of speaking, and their form was really bad. I mean, I could tell they don't do pull-ups so often. Even before being soldiers, I don't think many of them did pull-ups or push-ups or whatever, any other bodyweight compound move. However, you could focus and aim to execute as correctly as possible, and once you get tired, by increasing a little bit the pause, you could still perform decently, but if you also use exercises of lower difficulty. Now, the pause, this is very tricky because if you increase it by too much, then your muscles will get cool. If you are not doing pause, you won't be able to get pretty fresh onto the next set. It depends on which type of training you want to pursue. You want strength training or hypertrophy. If you want strength training, that it's normal to have longer pauses. Suppose you aim at doing variations that generate maximal tension in the muscles. In that case, it's great and awesome. You will develop strength, but you won't be able to do hundreds of them. That's the problem. Eventually, at some point in your workout, you will either change the variation with something lighter or end up the workout right there. But that's no longer volume or military training, how we like to call it. It's purely strength training. If I were to compare quality and quantity, for instance, I think I'm a hybrid, but I don't like taking sides because each one has its own advantages, as I will explain right now. I most definitely recommend focusing on learning the perfect technique and execution to anyone who still struggles with basic calisthenics. Yes, you have to master the basics of calisthenics if you want to develop almost everything through it. This is somewhat hilarious because, yeah, many lack the strength to train with such good form. It's why using multiple variations is so mandatory in developing physical abilities. That's right. It allows you to focus on learning, perfecting, and refining the fundamental exercises for growth, both muscles and strength. Even though your execution at the moment being is gross, raw, or unrefined in the first, 6 months or year of training. This ability to train quantity with a good form, like I do, comes with years of practice, and honestly, it rapidly fades away once you slow down and do less volume. It happened to me too. Strength endurance doesn't persist at the same level because it's tightly connected to the amount of workload you do every single day. Not to mention that you also need nutritious food here, a lot of carbs if you want to sustain these types of trainings. So I guess first and foremost, learn and focus on proper technique. Learn to master the basics and slowly add volume as you feel stronger. It's how I do it too. Now about quantity. We are in the realm of volume training, and it's also been demonstrated by scientists, proved by athletes like me, that doing quantity, keeping a good form though, will work effectively for growing strength, muscles, and muscular endurance. In fact, I would add that you won't need a full range of motion for building muscles if you want to do bodyweight bodybuilding. It's a reality. You just need tension and repeated powerful contractions than workout frequency. The more workout sessions you have, the more you repeat this cycle, plus the recovery, your muscles will grow eventually. So it's not about full range of motion, just in case if you want to develop great strength and functional strength. So I hope you like this topic and my explanations. I do have some programs on the website if you want to check them out. Also about volume and progressive overload, because I told you I'm a hybrid, I like to combine things. And I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Salute.